Hello and welcome to Soccer Now with myself, Samuel Reese, coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Today is Friday, August 2018. I hope you are all doing good. I apologize. It was based on scheduling I had. Anyway, if you watch it on recording every day, then it doesn't affect you whatsoever. But if you watch it live, then I apologize. But anyway, we have a lot to discuss in today's show, and we'll get right to the news. First of all, there was a Serie A silly season swap as Leonardo Bonucci has returned to Juventus after a year in Milan, and Gonzalo Higuain has joined Milan on a season-long loan deal. Leonardo Bonucci has reportedly did request a Juventus return. So we'll look at Leonardo Bonucci versus Gonzalo Higuain, as Bonucci's 31, Higuain 30 years old. Bonucci, of course, a center back, Higuain the center forward. Bonucci's played 301 Serie A games, Higuain with 177. Bonucci with 80 international caps, Higuain with 75. And in Serie A 2017 and 18, Bonucci had 35 appearances, Higuain also with 35 appearances. Bonucci with 0 assists, Higuain with 7 assists. Bonucci with 2 goals, Higuain with 16. Also, who is Mattia Caldara, as he was also involved in that swap deal. He's 24 years old. He's Italian, a center back in Serie A 2017 and 18. He had 24 appearances, 2 assists, 3 goals, and that is in 2017 and 18 with Juventus. So Gonzalo Higuain did net 16 goals in Serie A last season, and I'll be discussing who got the better end of the deal. So we asked you to vote who got the better end of the deal. You said Milan 51%, Juventus 49%. So very close, which is surprising in my opinion. I'll tell you what is my outright position on this. Also, FC Barcelona, their preseason 2018 going on, and the team took a day off from practice, but not from the transfer market. I'll be discussing why in a little bit. Also, Real Madrid preseason 2018 and 19 will also be discussing, as they had their last practice in Miami before heading to Washington, D.C. Also, it has been announced that there'll be an international friendly, as the U.S. men's national team is to face Colombia in Tampa Bay, Florida on October 11th. We'll also go to the top 5 transfer tracker stories. 5 is that Yerry Mina is to make a Manchester move. 4 is FC Barcelona are eyeing Paul Pogba. 3, FC Barcelona are also closing in on Arturo Vidal. 2, Leonardo Bonucci has returned to Turin. And 1, Gonzalo Higuain and Mattia Caldara's Milan move. So we'll be discussing all of that. Big news all around, really. Also, Neymar has joined his PSG teammates, as the 26-year-old did land in China as the team prepares for their Monaco match. Also, Jimmy Conrad of beIN Sports, he asked the fans in the streets of San Francisco, will soccer fans ever forgive Neymar? I'll be telling you what their reactions were and what I think about it. Also, no one is exempt from initiations, as even Gianluigi Buffon had to sing a tune for PSG. Remember, Trophée des Champions is live on beIN Sports Spanish channel tomorrow actually, at 7:55 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:55 a.m. Pacific Time on beIN Sports NA and on beIN Sports Connect. So big game there. Also, we will look at Borussia Dortmund 2018-19 Summer Spotlight. And we'll be discussing Christian Pulisic, as in Bundesliga 17-18, he had 4 goals, 6 assists in 32 appearances. So we'll get more in depth with it, but Christian Pulisic in 2017 and 2018, as I mentioned, in Bundesliga, 32 appearances, 6 assists, 4 goals. But then on the other side, in Champions League, had 5 appearances, 0 assists, and 0 goals. Here's Borussia Dortmund's 2013 UCL Finals starting 11, which we will be discussing later. You might not know why now, but I'll tell you later on. Weidenfeller was in net. Schmelzer was at left back. Hummels at left center back. Subotic at right center back. Piszczek at right back. Grosskreutz at left mid, Gundogan at left center mid, Bender at right center mid, Blaszczykowski at right mid, and Royce as attacking mid, and Lewandowski up top as the forward. They did lose 1-2 to FC Bayern, but I'll be talking about that later on. And in 2017 and 18, they finished 4th in the Bundesliga table and were out in the round of 16 in the DFB Pokal. So here's Borussia Dortmund's last 5 seasons. In 2017 and 18, finished 4th in Bundesliga, won the were the DFL Super Cup runner-up. In 2016 and 17, finished 3rd in Bundesliga and were the DFB Pokal champ. In 2015 and 16, finished 2nd in Bundesliga, were the DFB Pokal runner-up. In 2014 and 15, finished 7th in Bundesliga and were the DFL Super Cup champ. And in 2013 and 14, were 2nd in Bundesliga and were the DFL Super Cup champ also. We'll be talking about them. And lastly, Harry Kane was engraved in 6 €5 notes. Each of the Harry Kane notes are worth $65,000. That's a little bit crazy there. But anyway, that's everything we will be talking about on today's show. A lot to get to, quite honestly. And I can't wait. So let's talk about immediately right now this Serie A swap that has occurred as Leonardo Bonucci has returned to Juventus and Gonzalo Higuain has joined Milan on a season-long loan deal. It's quite a huge deal, really. I don't think a lot of people notice this, but this is a huge, one of the biggest deals in the summer transfer market, if not the biggest. Maybe Ronaldo the biggest, okay, but after that, definitely I'd have to say this is the next biggest, because especially to see a swap deal like this occur, it's a huge move. Excuse me, especially with a swap deal within Serie A. With Bonucci returning back to Juventus, it's interesting, really. But Higuain going to AC Milan, a huge pickup for AC Milan. Maybe Bonucci returning to Juventus, it will be better for him, as that's where he really did play his best soccer at. But what a huge move in Serie A, and another reason to look forward to this Serie A season, really. Just big moves happening, not just in Serie A, but across Europe, really, but especially in Serie A, with Bonucci and Higuain swap deal taking place yesterday. So absolutely crazy stuff going on in Serie A. Also, Leonardo Bonucci reportedly requested a Juventus return. So definitely, it seemed like Bonucci very much wanted to go back to Juventus, according to these reports that we've had. But other than that, it does seem like we'll see how Juventus is with this deal. There's definitely different ways to look at it on the Juventus perspective. On the other hand, for AC Milan, I feel like it's all pluses for them. Not really any cons for Milan. I think it's all pros for them in this swap deal. But with Bonucci requesting a Juventus return, definitely seemed like he wanted to go back to where he was playing well, which we'll see if that happens. But excuse me, it'll be interesting to see for sure. It's exciting. Anyway, Leonardo Bonucci versus Gonzalo Higuain. Obviously, different positions. Bonucci at center back and Higuain at center forward. They are about the same age. Bonucci with a little more Serie A experience, about the same international experience for both of them. Meanwhile, in Serie A, they both had the same amount of appearances last season. And, of course, it's what you expect. Higuain has 7 assists and 16 goals. Bonucci did have 2 goals, but as a center back, you can't expect too much from him. On the offensive side of production anyway. But, yeah, so that's looking at their stats from last year. And despite Bonucci being a center back or Higuain being a center forward, I definitely think Milan got a lot out of this deal. And I'll be discussing that in a second, really. Also, Mattia Caldara was involved in this deal. Many not really paying attention, not really knowing that was even part of the deal, but it was. He is Italian, just age 24. He's also a center back like Bonucci. And in 24 appearances, had 2 goals, 3 assists. So definitely played quite a bit last year, and even got some assists and goals with Juventus. So Caldara still, many don't know who he is exactly, but he is a talent for sure. He does. He's a good player, and he could also help Milan. Another reason why I think AC Milan won this deal, really, because they got 2 players, 2 talented players, especially Higuain, but Caldara I definitely think can help this AC Milan side in this 2018 and 19 campaign. But it will be fun to see for sure. So Gonzalo Higuain did net 16 goals in Serie A last season, which is pretty good for him. I think he can even get more goals this season. The other season netting a lot more too. With Juventus, he didn't play that much. Excuse me. Considering how much playing time he did get with Juventus last year, not as much as when he was with Napoli. 16 goals is actually really good for him. So Higuain, really a goal-scoring machine when it comes to getting the playing time he really needs and probably deserves, especially on this AC Milan side. But really, it's a great deal for Milan, I believe. So who got the better end of the deal? I probably made it clear myself, but AC Milan 100% getting the better end of this deal because with first of all, from a Juventus perspective, nothing, I wouldn't say, although obviously AC Milan did win this deal in my opinion anyway, I wouldn't say Juventus is happy or sad with this deal because it's not like the deal was bad for Juventus. It's kind of something that was all right for them, maybe pretty good even, because with Ronaldo coming in, maybe you could play Higuain with Ronaldo, but it seemed like Higuain had to be on his way out. So it's kind of what they had to do. And who knows? Maybe Higuain could have stayed and got playing time alongside Ronaldo, which would be something special probably. But in all consideration, you had to think Higuain was on his way out with Ronaldo coming, so something they really had to do. And to get Bonucci back out of that deal, it's not a bad deal for Juventus at all because Bonucci's still a great defender, and he had experience at the club. He'll be back with Juventus, and he could definitely help them very well at the club, and definitely a better defender than Caldara right now anyway. So definitely Juventus getting a good deal from their opinion, but the better end of the deal has to be AC Milan. I mean, Bonucci not playing particularly well at AC Milan. It's fine seeing him go back to Juventus from an AC Milan perspective because he wasn't really helping them, and I don't even know how good he'll be on Juventus, to be honest. That might be a level of concern for Juventus, but we'll see. Anyway, for AC Milan, it seemed like it's fine for Bonucci to leave, and to get Higuain and Caldara, a great youngster, and he could play even better if he gets more, which he probably will get more playing time with AC Milan, and to have a striker, which AC Milan's really been looking for, or it seemed like striker was the guy they needed to get this team into a top 4 Champions League spot. Now getting Gonzalo Higuain, I think personally AC Milan will be top 4. He's the player that will get them to the top 4. I think he'll finish top 3 goal scorers in Serie A, and I think it's a great pickup for AC Milan because they got a striker which they desperately needed, and he'll get plenty of goals for him. It's exactly what AC Milan needed. And I think very well that that's why they made that swap deal because it definitely favored AC Milan very much so in getting Higuain. Also, who got the better end of the deal? As I mentioned, 51% of you said Milan, 49% said Juventus. So although Milan barely edging out Juventus, I think it's absolutely baffling that 49% of you said Juventus because I don't see how Juventus could have got the better end of this deal because the only negative for AC Milan maybe is that Higuain's 31. But then again, the way he's been performing, I don't see that as a concern at all. And so I'm surprised. I thought it would be more like 75-25, but to see it go 51-49, almost half and half, I'm quite surprised. But there must have been a lot of Juventus fans doing that poll because I mean, there's no other way, because that's definitely surprising from my perspective anyway. I want you guys to comment how Juventus got the better end of the deal. I want to hear your opinion. Anyway, moving on from that huge deal in Serie A, really, we'll move on to FC Barcelona's preseason of 2018 and 19. They did take a day off from practice yesterday in San Jose, California, but not from the transfer market, which I'll be discussing in a quick couple minutes anyway. But Barcelona are continuing their preseason as they play in San Francisco, which will be their last game of the ICC. But definitely a good preseason, and it's good to see the youngsters. Although, excuse me, they didn't get the win. The 2 losses actually to Tottenham and Roma. But it'll be fun to see them play their last game at Levi's Stadium. Also, shifting to the Real Madrid's preseason 2018 and 19, they had their last practice in Miami before heading to Washington, D.C. I believe they're arriving in the nation's capital today to get ready for their preseason game versus Juventus. A big game, really, and that'll be an exciting one. After Real Madrid did lose to Man United 2-1, definitely want to bounce back with Bale and Benzema there. And other stars, really. I think Ramos he joined the team in DC today, I believe, and he'll be back in action tomorrow, excuse me. Yeah, tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern, they take on Juventus. So good to see some star players from Madrid coming back to get ready for the La Liga season. It's exciting, very exciting for sure. Also, the U.S. men's national team is to face Colombia in Tampa Bay, Florida, October 11th in an international friendly. So good news to hear. That will be exciting. U.S., we already know, playing Brazil, England, Italy in friendlies this fall. So Brazil being in the U.S., I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Also, they're playing Mexico here in the U.S. too. So to see them also play Colombia in Tampa on October 11th, it's good to see them get those top South American and European nations onto their friendlies, because it'll be good experience for this young generation, young talented generation of Americans coming up for the next World Cup. So good to see them get another friendly onto their list. Let's go to the transfer tracker. Yerry Mina is to make a Manchester move. As I said, I believe last week it was, he could be on his way to Everton. It looks like maybe he'll go to Man United now, which would be a big move for the tall Colombian in the back, and a big pickup for Man United, I'd say. But it would be cool to see Yerry Mina at Man United, as we didn't see him get too much playing time at Barcelona. Also, FC Barcelona are eyeing Paul Pogba, because Paul Pogba, one of many names that seems to not fit the playing style of Jose Mourinho, or not play well there anyway. And so it looks like he could be on his move to FC Barcelona. Would be a huge pickup for FC Barcelona, because we know the potential of Paul Pogba, seeing him at this summer's World Cup. We know what he's capable of performing, the level he can perform at. So to see Paul Pogba at FC Barcelona would sure be something. Speaking of FC Barcelona, they are closing in on Arturo Vidal, which really came out of nowhere. More shocking news. Barcelona not afraid to make some moves, as they have a lot of money to spend, really. So with Arturo Vidal, it came out of nowhere, really, where you heard that Inter was eyeing him. But now it looks like he may, very much so, is going to FC Barcelona. It seems like it's almost official, really. Not official. It hasn't been done yet, but it seems like it very much might happen, which would be huge for FC Barcelona. Vidal, still a talented defender, the Chilean, but what a pickup for FC Barcelona that would be. I think it's huge for them. Not sure really why Bayern Munich would be willing to let him go, but we'll see. We'll see if it goes through, and a good name to eye for Barcelona for sure, and it's almost going through, it looks like. So news out of nowhere, really. That's why we love the transfer tracker. Also, as I mentioned earlier, Leonardo Bonucci has returned to Turin. So back with Juventus, although one thing is, I don't know how the fans will react to Bonucci coming back to Juventus. Because it seemed like he really wanted to leave to go to AC Milan when he did leave Juventus. And when he scored with AC Milan, he did taunt the Juventus fans. So I'm not sure if there'll be quite a warm welcoming there for Bonucci, but we'll see how things go there as he does make his return to Turin. And, of course, Gonzalo Higuain and Matteo Caldara have made the Milan move. They're both going to AC Milan, a huge pickups for AC Milan. And it'll be fun to see them this Serie A season with Higuain especially and Caldara even at the back. So huge transfer tracker stories, and I'm sure we'll have more after the weekend. Also, Neymar has joined his PSG teammates. The 26-year-old did land in China as the team prepares for their match against Monaco in the French Super Cup. So good to see Neymar back in action. Not back in action yet, but with his team and getting ready for this 2018 and 19 Ligue 1 season. And good to see really all these teams, star players, get into action to prepare for their respective seasons, but especially to see Neymar back with PSG in China. It's good to see. Also, speaking of Neymar, as I mentioned, Jimmy Conrad of beIN Sports asked the fans in the streets of San Francisco, will soccer fans ever forgive Neymar? Because his flopping antics have been very much criticized, to say the least. And many of the fans said that they'll if he keeps doing it, then he'll get a lot of boos and fans will get frustrated because he should play around the rules of the game. But others said that he's still a great player, is talented, and fans will get over it soon and respect the great player he is and forgive him. While others also said he'll even stop flopping after a little bit as he grows up to be older, and we'll only remember him for his talent and easily forgive him. But others said maybe not forgiving him. I definitely think they'll forgive Neymar, because I agree that even though if he flops a little more, he'll stop flopping at a certain point. And with the talent he has, you have to respect him. And the fans will really forget about it and forgive him for all the flopping he has done this summer and before, too. Also, Gianluigi Buffon did sing a tune for PSG as the new rookie. I put it in air quotes. Rookie for PSG, rookie, that is in air quotes, because what is he, 41 now, 40? It's hard to picture him as a rookie at a club, but it is his first season with PSG, but having a little fun singing for the PSG players. Anyway, good to see that happen, and we'll see how Buffon does at PSG, but obviously having a little fun with the experience he has, why not have a little fun? But good to see Buffon having fun at PSG. Remember, Trophée des Champions is live on beIN Sports Spanish channel as PSG does take on Monaco. A big game, really. Tomorrow, 7:55 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:55 a.m. Pacific Time on beIN Sports and Espanol and beIN Sports Connect. So definitely a match to keep an eye on. An exciting match, really. So, yeah. Definitely watch that. And also, speaking of, we'll go to the Borussia Dortmund 2018-19 summer spotlight. Christian Pulisic in the Bundesliga 17-18 scored 4 goals, 6 assists, and 32 appearances. Although in Champions League, he had 5 appearances, 0 assists, 0 goals. So with those stats, you can tell he's still young, still living up to his potential, still isn't even at his prime yet, a lot would say. And we'll probably still see a lot more to come from Pulisic. But anyway, could Pulisic be on his way? Because it seems like Barcelona has, Dortmund, not Barcelona, not really seemed like it. They are really a selling club. They have so many good players in their club to just sell them away to bigger European giants, really. And that can definitely happen with Pulisic. It's not a matter of if they'll sell him. They will sell him at one point. It's really when. Reports saying that it could happen before this upcoming season starts. But we'll see. He might stay another year, but we'll see where Pulisic ends up, or if he just stays at Dortmund before the season starts. But definitely you'd think Pulisic in the next couple of years anyway will be off to a bigger club in Europe. Anyway, so speaking of the talent that Dortmund's given away, they had a stacked lineup, really. In 2013 UCL final, this is their starting 11. Weidenfeller in net, Schmelzer, Hummels, Subotic, Piszczek at the back, Goss, Kruetz, Gundogan, Bender, Blaszczykowski in the midfield, Royce as the attacking mid, and Lewandowski up top. They did lose to Bayern 2-1 in that game, but making it to the Champions League final, what a lineup it was. And a lot of those players being sold to bigger clubs. Really, we see Hummels on Bayern Munich, Gundogan at Man City. I'm not sure where's Bender at. I forget. He might be still at Dortmund, I believe. Royce has only stayed because of the injuries he had, or else he would have been off. Lewandowski at Bayern Munich. It's really an example of how good of players they've brought up and had, but just to sell away, really. Anyway, in 2017 and 18, they did finish 4th in the Bundesliga table and made the round of 16 in the DFB Pokal. So I feel like with the squad they do have, probably a top 4 finish to make the Champions League would be their goal this season. Maybe go a little further in the DFB Pokal, but with the players they have sold, really for them, it's not really winning the league their goal. Here are their last 5 seasons, finishing 4th in Bundesliga last season, finishing 3rd the season before, 2nd 2 times, and 7th 4 years ago. A really bad season that year. They have won some titles, the DFL Super Cup runners-up, the DFL Super Cup champ twice, and the DFB Pokal runner-up and DFB Pokal champ. But domestically in those competitions, they have been pretty good. But over a long season with the squad they've had over the last couple of years, they just haven't been able to finish that top spot. But really a top 4 finish is their priority for Borussia Dortmund. Really, that's counted as success for that club. Anyway, to end the show, I did want to mention Harry Kane was engraved in 6 €5 notes. If you don't think that's a lot, think again. Each of the Harry Kane notes are worth $65,000. So Harry Kane really being honored in England on the money there. But quite impressive for Harry Kane and England, really. But anyway, to end the show, I didn't want to mention that this weekend we do have ICC. None tonight, but I won't be on this weekend. So tomorrow, there are 3 games, including Juventus Real Madrid. I forget who Barca plays. Inter does play 2 Eastern time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time, it is Juventus versus Real Madrid. And 8 Eastern time, 5 Pacific, it is Barca versus I forget, but that will be ESPN News. And then Sunday, I don't believe there are any games. Remember, tomorrow night there is MLS games. Sunday, no ICC games, I believe, but there is MLS New York City versus LAFC, 6 Eastern time, 3 Pacific on FS1. Also tomorrow at 4 Eastern time, 1 Pacific time on ESPN, it's Atlanta United versus Toronto FC. So really MLS and ICC, there's tons of action to watch this weekend. So enjoy the weekend of action. We'll have a lot to talk about on Monday, heading into the opening week of Premier League and Ligue 1. It's exciting. So I'll see you on Monday. Thanks for tuning in, and bye. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. See ya.